Live from PATV Studios, it's the Lyle Style Show. And now, the man with the most style, it's your host, Lyle Style.
Hey, welcome to another edition of the Lyle Style Show. Hey, I'm your host, Lyle Style. It's 2018. I have a brand new set as you can see, viewers. We have a brand new set. My first guest on 2018 is a fabulous person. I'm so blessed to have her on my show. She's running for governor of the state of Iowa, and she's a Democrat, which is the best anyway. And so, you know, and without ado, I want to introduce Cathy Glasson, yep, to my show. Welcome to the Lyle Style Show, young lady.
Great, thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay, we've been talking a little bit, you know, and we were talking to you before this show started, a little bit about your background, a little bit about where you came from and why you want to run for governor.
Sure. Well, I grew up in the northwest corner of the state, in Spencer, Iowa.
I've heard of Spencer.
Yeah, you've heard of Spencer. I grew up there. My mother worked at a Sears and Roebuck catalog store, so
okay.
That's back in the day when they had catalog stores. And my father was a over-the-road truck driver.
Okay.
And I have a sister that's a little old, 2 years older than I am, and we both grew up in Spencer. They worked hard, and my sister and I then went on we're fortunate enough that they worked hard and were able to send my sister and I off to college.
Right.
When I graduated from high school in Spencer, I then went on I came to the University of Iowa and got my nursing degree here.
You're a nurse?
Yeah.
Wow.
Worked as a nurse at university hospitals here in the intensive care unit for over 20 years.
Ooh,
yeah,
shoot,
yeah.
My goodness. Man, I never see that one coming right there. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, okay, well, beautiful. Because I know some people from Spencer, I forgot the Buchanan's, they've been in Spencer all their lives, whatever. Because Spencer's a pretty nice sized town.
Yeah, it's a good mid-sized, small community, but
right.
It was a good place to grow up.
Exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what made you get into this arena?
Yeah, good question. Well, you know, I decided to run for governor because I believe the number one job of a governor is to raise wages and improve the standard of living for the people of Iowa.
Mm-hmm.
And on that key job, the Governor Branstad, now Governor Kim Reynolds, and the Iowa legislature, the Republicans in the legislature have failed to get that job done.
Mm-hmm.
And they've turned control of our state over to corporations and the wealthy few, and they've left regular people and regular Iowans behind. And so, and that's clear if you look at the facts in our state. And 2/3 of the jobs in our state pay less than $20 an hour. And we have 2/3 of the jobs in this state pay less than $20 an hour, which is leaving 381,000 households, one out of every 3 families in our state struggling to pay their bills every month. We need a bold, progressive governor and leader that isn't afraid to stand up on the issues that we care about and take on corporations and make sure that Iowans have a better life. And we have a plan for that, a bold, progressive plan that will improve the lives of over 1 million Iowans.
Ooh, I like that. I like the way that sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you also, I heard you really big with unions.
Yes, I happen to be, I'm a registered nurse, but I did help organize university hospitals with my fellow coworkers and nurses and healthcare professionals back in the late 90s to form our union. I then went on to help organize other hospitals in the state, so those workers had a voice on the job. And I currently serve as the local union president, and I'm still proud to be serving in that capacity. So,
wow, what a beautiful, you are everywhere.
Well, I'm busy.
Yeah, you're busy, young lady. You're busy because I've talked to some people about you, whatnot. You know, now I know your platform. See here, I got a little thing. Now you are really involved with better health care for fully funded education. Tell me a little bit about what's that about? Why do you feel that way? Why do you want better health care and fully education?
Right. Whatever. Yeah. So, as an intensive care unit nurse, I've been working, and a union leader, I've been working to fight for affordable quality health care for decades. And if you look at how today, healthcare still is a major issue for most people, not just in Iowa, but nationally.
Nationally, yes.
And so, the Affordable Care Act, we fought to get that passed, but it's still not doing the job. We still have too high of costs, and Iowans are receiving too little care. And so,
why is that though?
well, let's talk about that. We have a current system. It's the for-profit health insurance industry. We have to get the for-profit insurance industry out of healthcare in order to make sure that every Iowan is able to receive the best possible care and healthcare possible. And so we need, I believe, and I was one of the first Democratic candidates that came out bold and strong, calling for Medicare for all on the federal level.
Federal level.
We want, out of Washington, D.C., that would cover everyone in our country. But, if we can't count on the politicians in Washington, D.C. to do the right thing, then as governor, I will fight to create a universal single-payer plan here that covers every Iowan, and that includes, and this is important to note, access to mental health services, and also women's reproductive rights, which were gutted in the last legislative session. And so that's why universal health care is so important to talk about.
Oh my goodness. I mean, access to every Iowan.
Yeah.
Now, why didn't a governor ever think about doing something like that? My goodness, now, if you come along and this is your platform, which is a brilliant thing, I think that's what we need.
Yeah, Iowans need it. That's right.
Not just to stay in Iowa, but for this whole country.
Yeah.
The health care is just is everywhere, really.
That's right.
So,
right.
but now, what about the education?
Yeah. On public education, I'm a believer that we need to fully fund public education.
Yes,
We should not be using taxpayer dollars to privatize or voucherize or charter our public education. Our public schools every public school needs to be the best public school. And the way we do that is making sure that we have teachers that are paid well so that we retain and recruit the highest quality teachers in our state. And that's through having a union and the teachers union. We need to strengthen unions, not just for teachers, but for every worker. But particularly we need to make sure that our public education is fully funded and teachers are fully paid for the work that they do educating our children. I'm running on a as governor, I would call on the legislature to increase K-12 funding by 6%. And I would veto anything less than 4% funding at the current level for K-12 system.
Right.
And people say, oh, that's a lot of money for public education. It is not. 4% is what Iowa used to put into the budget to educate our children. And that is not asking for too much. We need to get back to funding our public schools, and it's a core value that Iowans care about.
What happened though? What happened to that 4%? They don't do it no more?
Well, what's happening is we're giving corporate tax breaks to companies that don't really need it to the tune of $600 million a year.
Shoot.
All at a time where we're starving public education and demonizing teachers in our state. We need to make sure that we fully fund public education to make sure that every school, no matter what zip code the children are in or the teachers work in, they're fully funded and have access to quality public education.
Wow, excellent. Okay, I love that. Now, you also have a platform of cleaner water.
That's right. And I'm, I am running as a candidate for governor, and as governor, I will happily call on a moratorium on any expansion of corporate factory farms in our state. We have corporations that have taken over a lot of our agricultural lands, right?
Yeah.
And so agribusiness has a stranglehold on state government and our leaders right now. We need to hold corporations accountable when they pollute our waterways, and right now that's not happening. We need to fully fund the Department of Natural Resources to investigate. We need stronger enforcement mechanisms in place and stricter penalties for those corporate agribusiness companies that are really polluting our waterways. Right now, we have over 750 of Iowa's waterways are polluted.
Wow.
And as governor, I support a moratorium on the growth of factory farms until fewer than 100 waterways are polluted in our state. And we do it by holding them accountable. And holding them accountable means making them clean up the pollution that they cause, not the taxpayers.
Amen. Wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful. That's some wonderful news. Oh my goodness, you're so refreshing. Okay, now you also are a platform for raising the minimum wage.
Yeah, absolutely. And as a union leader, raising wages is important. But right now, Iowa's minimum wage is at $7.25 an hour.
Man, it went down.
Yeah, and now let's talk about that. That's another
Yes.
reason why we need a governor who's going to stand up and fight for working people in our state. This governor and Governor Branstad before her actually not only gutted union rights for public employees, but they actually lowered the minimum wage in five of Iowa's counties, literally taking money out of workers' pockets and lowering the minimum wage at a time when families are struggling.
That's true, because how in the world can a family support themselves on $7.25 an hour?
They can't.
How can you do it?
You can't.
You cannot. I'm sorry. I'm excited about this. You can't do it.
You can't.
You can't. I mean, one person can't really support themselves on $7.25 an hour. This is ridiculous.
That's right. And no Iowan who works full-time should live in poverty.
No.
Absolutely not. And $15 is the floor of what Iowa families need to survive.
Wow.
And so that's the bare minimum of where we should be going. And let's look at this. Iowans haven't gotten a raise for over 40 years. If you look at the current minimum wage, if you put in the cost of living and inflation, Iowans haven't really gotten a raise for over 40 years. It's time we raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, and we need to do it fast.
Oh, yes.
Because families that are struggling to put food on the table and gas in the car can't wait any longer.
Oh,
so
my goodness.
I can tell you a little bit about what my plan is for the $15 minimum wage.
Well, go ahead.
Yeah, on day one as governor, I'm going to call on the Iowa General Assembly to pass a minimum wage law to $15 an hour. The law would kick in over 3 years and then would be indexed to inflation moving forward so that families can continue to get an income that allows them to have a decent life to raise their families in Iowa.
Wow.
And we need that. We need
Wow.
to do that so that people want to stay here and raise their families
Wow.
and work here.
I keep saying wow because for the first time I'm hearing someone sincerely that really cares about people in this state. Really, I can't believe that someone out there cares. You care. Where did you come from? You should have been there a long time ago. This with the situation you would have been in. Wow. Wow. I'm floored.
Well,
That's a good
as a
thing.
registered nurse working in Iowa all my life, I care about this state and I care about the people in this state. And we need a governor who is who doesn't put party and politics
Yes.
first.
Oh my goodness,
right?
yes. Oh, come on.
Iowans want a governor who's going to work for them and make sure that regular Iowans have their voice and a seat at the table.
Yes.
That's what this is really about. Because when I talk to folks on the campaign trail, what I always say is that my name may be on the ballot in June in the primary, but this is not at all about me personally. This is about all of us. This is
Right.
about Iowans and
Right.
changing things for the better in Iowa. And
right,
so
right.
that's why we're building a grassroots movement around the state, around
Good.
this bold progressive agenda that will dramatically improve the lives of over 1 million Iowans
Oh, my
if we do
goodness.
these bold progressive steps and put these policies into place.
Wow, what a beautiful thing. Now, you have, so far, your platform is on track. Also about, so we talked a little bit about joining unions
Yes.
and employee associations in the job, universal singles, easy to people to join the union.
That's right.
What is your stand?
Yeah. Well, when Governor Branstad and now Kim Reynolds, who is just like him,
Yes.
stripped away union rights from 184,000 hardworking public employees last legislative session. What we need to do is actually restore what they took away.
What was that?
Well, they took away the ability to bargain over certain items in a contract. So essentially stripping workers' voices and the ability to negotiate strong contracts. And making it harder for workers to keep a union if they have a union by making us vote every single at the expiration of each contract, we have to re-vote whether we want to keep our union or not, and the bar is way too high for folks. It's ridiculous. It's an attack. It's an attack on workers. It is. It's time that we have a governor who's going to actually not just roll back the changes that they passed, and restore collective bargaining rights to workers. That's a good first step. But we need to be more proactive, and we need a governor who's willing to go beyond that and stand up to the corporations so that, and fight to make it easier and find new creative ways to help workers join together in a union or an employee association, no matter where they work, whether you're a private sector worker or work in the public sector in the state of Iowa. The governor needs to lead and find new ways to make it easier to have workers have a voice on the job. And, you know, as a union leader, that's the only way I know and that working people get ahead.
Oh, wow, good.
Is through their union.
Oh, my. And so you've been going all around. I know you're going to hit probably all 99 counties.
Yeah.
And so what has been the census about when you were talking to people? What have they came to you and told you, hey, you know what, Cathy, please, could you do this? What is people in the state of Iowa, what are they looking for? What do they want?
Change. They want someone, and again, it's not about me. They want someone that's like them, is a regular Iowan that understands the challenges that they face every single day, which is worrying about how they're going to pay a health care bill if they get sick, being able to afford that. And that's why we need universal single-payer health care, and we need it now.
So universal single-payer health care.
Yeah.
That sounds like a miracle.
Yeah, it does. But you know, other industrialized countries in the world have done, they cover all of their citizens and their people.
Right.
They reduce costs and the outcomes are better for their people. It's silly that the United States has not done this already and made sure that every citizen has health care that's quality health care and affordable for families. And so it's time. I know Iowans are ready for this change. Politics, as usual, aren't going to get us there. We need dramatically different kind of politics.
Oh my goodness, you definitely do.
And that's why we need to get out there and talk to folks and get them involved in this campaign, because it really is a grassroots movement, and it really is movement politics. And it goes beyond the 2018 election cycle. We want to build a bold, progressive voice of people across the state of Iowa, not just in 2018, but leading up to the presidential cycle in 2020 and beyond.
There you go. There you go. So you're not just talking about now. You're talking about the future, too.
That's right. We're trying to build a bold, progressive future that improves the lives of millions of people in the state of Iowa and beyond.
Bold, aggressive. That I like the way that sounds. I like that. You know. And then we touch a little bit on this subject, which that it's kind of taboo, but come on, I mean, it needs to be talked about a little bit, because you kind of gave me your little opinion about this, about the privatizing the prison system. Yeah,
and I'm opposed to privatizing the prison system in Iowa, just like I oppose privatizing Medicaid and health care. Because what happens when you privatize prisons or health care, the ultimate goal of privatization is that the companies that take those systems over only care about profits. And when we privatize healthcare and we privatize the criminal justice, the prison system in our state, it only incentivizes folks to be put into prison who tend to be disproportionately people of color, minorities, and youth.
Oh, Lord, help me please.
And Iowa is, you know, ranks pretty high up there for a disproportionate amount of people of color that we incarcerate. And we need to absolutely take a look at a one-size-fits-all criminal justice system in Iowa does not work.
I know.
We need to be thoughtful about how we do this.
Look, it's more of a profit for the state. They're looking at people in that system as profits. Well, get more people in there so we can profit, we can make more money for the state. And what about the human factor?
That's right.
Because some people in that system should not be there, but they in the system, they got locked in the system, and they lost. So I'm so happy and so excited about what you're talking about doing for the state. I mean, it's unbelievable that what things that you said should have already been done.
That's right. And the most concerning part about this, especially when we talk about criminal justice reform and looking at the system that we have in Iowa, is we have low-level offenders that are locked up for years. We should not be spending our money on that. We should make sure that we have mental health services available. Because a lot of folks that are put into our prison systems and corrections really need mental health services. And we can do that in community-based approach, a very common sense approach to mental health services. And then we need to make sure that we're not incarcerating low-level offenders. Get them the treatment that they might need, and if they don't need treatment, let's make sure that they're able to get back into our communities and integrate in our communities in a much better way instead of I don't believe in mandatory minimum sentencing either. By just locking everybody up for an extended period of time, it's just a mandatory sentence. I just think a one-size-fits-all system does not work and is not a smart way to keep people out of the criminal justice system. The goal should be to keep people out of the system, and when they are released from prison, to make sure that they're integrated into their communities and to provide and assist them as much as we can. We'll have much healthier communities if we do it that way.
Finally, someone thinking smart. Finally, we have someone like yourself that has beautiful ideas that should have been done decades ago, years ago, and you come up with this. Oh my goodness!
Well, it's long been coming, right? People are frustrated. People are frustrated. They're fed up. They feel ignored and left out. Our campaign is about making sure that regular Iowans have a voice in government and have a reason to vote in the polls again. Go to the poll and vote. And that's a big deal. We got to get folks energized and excited about a bold progressive agenda that our campaign is running, and let the Iowans that are involved in our campaign, the thousands of Iowans that are involved in our campaign, this is really about them and owning their government again. And that's what our campaign is all about, and how we're doing politics differently in 2018.
That's what it's supposed to be about. It's really about the people. The people.
It's our government, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Look, Cathy, you are a breath of fresh air. You really are. I'm dead serious. Your progressive boldness that you talk about, your agenda platform is a beautiful thing.
Great.
That healthcare. Wow.
Yeah.
That right there should have been done. What you're saying should have been implemented, not only in the state of Iowa, but truthfully all around this country.
That's right.
You looking at minimum wage, that should have been done. Things you were telling me about what's going on in this country, and not in this country, but in the state, it's like they're going backwards.
We are. It does seem like we're going backwards, and the decisions that were made in the last legislative session, and now that we're facing in this upcoming session that just opened today, the Iowa legislature just convened today, we're looking at more regressive sorts of proposals that hurt working people in the state of Iowa.
Wow.
Now more than ever, it's time for people to step up and get involved in this campaign. We'd love to have folks from all spectrums of the political, all parts of the politics of the state of Iowa. If you like what you're hearing, we want you to get active in our campaign.
Amen. Amen.
We do.
Amen. I totally believe that you definitely, the words going to get out from the Lyle Style. The words going to get out from this.
That's great.
Yes, because what you're telling me, I totally get it.
Great.
I totally get what you're saying. It's a long time coming. You definitely have beautiful ideas that will make this state good again. Number one, back in the 90s, whatever, education. Iowa had the best education system in the whole country. Back in the day, back in the 90s or 80s. I don't know what's going on now, but back then, Iowa education was like top notch. When you come to Iowa, I'm talking about for schools, elementary schools, high schools, whatever. Man, now.
Well, I will say, I have to give credit to the teachers and the school administrators that are given very little funding to continue to provide the education to our students as they can, as best they can. And it's long overdue, and it's time that teachers are paid and respected for the work that they do, that our schools are fully funded, that our children are getting the top-notch public education that Iowa has always had and will continue to have, as long as we have a progressive, bold vision and a leader to make that happen, and the people that will support that.
Right.
You know, as one individual, I can't change the state. It takes a lot of the support of Iowans to push for the things that we value, which are quality, affordable health care,
Right, yes.
health care coverage that's affordable, that no one has to worry about how they're going to pay their health care bill,
Yes.
making sure that we raise the minimum wage to $15 an hour, that we make it easier for workers to join in a union, that we all have clean water. We all need clean drinking
yes.
water and clean water,
Ooh.
and holding corporations accountable, and then fully funding public education and making college affordable for our college students, which is another piece of you know, the problem that we're facing in our public education.
You definitely, okay, I got 5 minutes left. Okay, what would be the one thing that you want to leave from the show to take the viewers about what Cathy is all about, what she's going to do when she's become governor of this state?
This is about building a bold, progressive movement in the state. If we take these bold, progressive steps, we will dramatically improve the lives of over 1 million Iowans. And that's why I'm running for governor, and that's why we're building thousands of support from around the state, of people from Iowa that are supporting this campaign. And I'm very proud to run on those issues, which again are, and I like to make this very clear, I can't say it enough, is that we need universal single-payer health care in this state. Or this country.
Yes.
And we need to speak out and support that. We need union rights to be strengthened in this state. We need a $15 minimum wage that gets indexed to inflation after the 3-year incremental increase that I'm proposing. And then making our waterways clean and safe for all Iowans, and fully funding public education and making college affordable. We can do this. I have no doubt in my mind. It's what I value. It's what Iowans that I've been listening to value, and I'm proud to be a candidate running for office with the support of so many activists from around the state. And we'll build that coalition and that power together.
Amen. Amen. Well, young lady, you said a handful. You said something that I've been wanting to hear for years.
Well,
you said something I've been wanting to hear for you. Oh wow, that's a beautiful thing. I'm so glad.
Great.
I'm happy that you're running for governor for this state. Bold and progressive. I like that slogan. You got to be bold. Nowadays, you have to be bold.
You do,
You
and
have
we
to
can't
be
be
bold.
afraid to talk about the things that we deserve as Iowans, and not be afraid to talk about it. It's our time. We should rise up together.
Amen. Right? Ooh, I like it. Oh,
That's right.
You're a wonderful person. You're going to come back on the show again.
I would love to
Please,
come back.
Come
I
back
really
on the show
enjoyed
again, and maybe talk a little bit about in depth about your campaign. By then,
Great.
you know, you'll have some little things that you want to talk a little bit more about. I know that you have to go to another interview, but I really, from my heart, thank you for coming on the show and being part of the Lyle Style Show. I appreciate it from my heart. Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, no, thank you for what you're doing. And anybody that wants to get involved can go to our website, which is CathyGlasson.com. And we have a Facebook page, Cathy Glasson for Governor. People should check that out and get
Yes.
active on those. And we have a Twitter account as well.
Okay, good. So everybody out there, hey, go to Facebook. Go. Hey,
That's right.
She could be the next one. She could be the next one right here. I'm right on the Lyle Style Show. I keep looking at the next governor. So hey, go. She got some good ideas. I really appreciate you coming on the show. Thank you again. You definitely come back on the show again. Okay?
I will, and thank you so much for doing what you're doing and having me on today. I appreciate it.
No problem. So I want to talk to my viewers. Hey, what camera I'm on? I guess I'm on this camera. But look, I thank y'all. I pray that hey, don't complain about what's going on. Do something about it. I don't want to hear nobody complaining. Now you have a reason. You have a good leader right here that will do something about it. So go ahead, do your thing, get involved, be progressive, be bold, like she says, and let's change the state. Change the state for the better. So with that said, my Bruce, let me wrap it up. Hey, I want to say, hey, and Denzel, I'm sorry, man, for not having you on the show again. Man, I have to have her on the show. So next time, Denzel, I'm going to get you on my show, man. We're going to sit down and talk right here on the Lyle Style Show. So and with that said, I want to say, everybody out there, to keep watching the Lyle Style Show, and remember to always keep it classy. Keep it classy. Peace. I'm out of here.